another beautiful morning on the BNA exclusive on BNA TV. Go out there knowing that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Today, I have in the studios with me Tetteh, Leno, Tetteh. My name is Jasbie, and we are going to get to know him more about his music career. You know, BNA exclusive is all about education and fun. Stay with me whilst we get to know him. Tetteh, sorry, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How have you been?
Very good.
I'm good.
Very good. We can't complain, even though the coronavirus is flying around. But we are fine.
We thank God you're fine. I can see you're looking very healthy. So, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Tetteh Leno Tetteh?
Oh, Tetteh Leno Tetteh, a very simple man. Here am I. Very, very simple man. I am from the Gadangbe group of people. My mom is from Gan Asene, and my dad is from Boom, Akpingwe. So my mom is from Asene Junction. You know, when it comes to my educational background, you know, I'm just somebody who have not been to school much.
Okay.
I just went to St. P. 1 Primary School at Jamestown. From St. P. 1 Primary School, I went to Accra Royal Boys, Jamestown.
Okay.
So I was born in Jamestown, I schooled in Jamestown, I grew up in Jamestown. And I entered into music from Jamestown. So, you know, how will I say it? I'm Jamestown.
You're a Jamestown boy.
Yeah.
Or a Jamestown man.
Yes.
Okay, so starting your music in Jamestown, when exactly did you start music?
Sometime in the 1970s, late 1970s, let me say 1970, late 1977 into 78. And what happened was, even though music is flying around us every day, I'm a very shy type, you know, when I was growing. So I'm seriously into soccer. I play soccer, yes. You know, and I was a goalkeeper. Very good one, not a joke. So everybody thought I would be a soccer player, yes. I'm using soccer because, you know, in the Western world they have soccer and they have football.
Yes.
So sometimes when you say football, it confuses. Yes. So
one.
unless you use soccer.
Yeah.
So I'm a very serious goalkeeper.
Okay.
And that time I kept goals for the junior sides team called Me and You. And also there is another small teams around which we call Munchendi. So people drag me here, people drag me there, just to come and keep their goals for them. So on a Saturday morning like this, or Sunday morning, you know, it's very difficult to see me. So, but I love music. You know, Jamestown, when I was growing up, you see the King's Palace is just behind my grandmother's house where I was born and grew up. So all the time there will be Phantom Phone playing, there will be, and when I was growing, there's a lot of music that we don't see today. Music like Ogboli, music like Otume, music like Gombe, from all these old people. And I love it. So anytime they playing, you see me around watching, you know. And I remember there's this toy that is called Melody. It's like a flute. It's a flute. It's not like a flute. It's a flute. And when the Christmas festivity comes like this, that melody comes out. You know, the women who sell these Christmas toys sell them. So I remember I saw somebody playing and I went and bought some. Yeah, so I saw somebody playing the bamboo flute. So I went straight to the man and asked, what is this? That time I was carrying my melody as well. I said, oh, yeah, I know, but this is made out of bamboo. So I asked where I can get some, and the man directed me to the art center. That same day, I went to the art center without money. I went and searched for it, and I saw where I can find one. Fine. So I came home and worked hard for money. How much is it? It's very not expensive. And I went and bought it. And I started teaching myself. You know. And I taught myself so much that I can play anything. And I played good. But, you know, at that time we don't know music. So there are some keys if you are playing, you know, you'll be out of tune. But that time we don't know. So in the late 1970s, there was a band called the Buying Sounds. You know, the kids, you know, we all kids. That time I'm a kid too. So the manager of the band saw me playing the thing and he's like, no, this boy can play in the band. So he came and spoke to me about joining the Buying Sounds. And I keep saying, I'll come, I don't go, I'll come, I don't go. And one day he came and forced me to their rehearsal grounds. So there was a song that they're going to play. There's a particular song that I keep playing the flute, you know. So that's why you fall in love that I should come and play the band. So when we went, he asked me to play before they sing that song. And it was amazing, and that's it for me.
So during all this time, were you in school or you were done with school?
Look, I was in school.
So how did you combine the music and the school?
And the soccer. Don't forget
and
the soccer.
Yes, how did you combine all three?
See, and in those days too, we spent lots of time in school. Because I remember we go to school 7 in the morning. We close at 11:30. We go back to school at 1.
Okay.
And come home around 3:30.
So it was like a double shift?
No, yeah.
We don't go. Goes in the morning.
No, we don't do that. In our time, you go in the morning and close at 11:30. Okay. You come home, and then you have to be back in school at 1.
Oh, okay.
So you come home for like an hour and a half, and then you go back to school.
Okay.
And then the school finish around 3:30, and then you don't go again.
Okay.
So, you know, we're managing. You know, the soccer people is pulling me on the right, and the band too is pulling me on the left. But because the band is where I live, is closer to where I live, the soccer people, they are far away from me. So before they will get there, the band has taken me already. You know, but I'm always in school because the soccer people don't want to hear that you haven't been to school today. Okay. Same as the band. Okay. They also don't want to hear you haven't been to school today. So they keep track of you going to school. Okay. Yeah. Even though I'm having tough time paying my fees and blah, 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 you know, in that time, you know, if you are from a very poor family, you know, even though the school fees is very cheap and it's once a year that they pay, they can't afford it.
Okay, so talking about the fees and how cheap it was and where you're coming from, definitely, how did your parents take this? Because we live in a society where there's sports and music and all these things, our parents consider it to be for lazy people. They believe more in education. So you going to school and doing all this, how did they take it?
I don't think my parents are happy about me even playing soccer.
Okay.
You know, but if you look about how much people make in soccer today and how good I was, if they know They would have supported me. Because in school, I am the goalkeeper for the school. I remember when I'm in the lower class, I was the goalkeeper. I get to the upper class, I was the goalkeeper. Everywhere I am, I'm the goalkeeper. So if they know how good I was in soccer, they will support me. And also, playing with the band, they thought it's just for kobolo. When I say kobolo, like for street kids. So why should I be there? You know. But these two, the soccer and the band, make sure I go to school. They support me. So because with the band, every time we play, we get some tips from audience. They took upon themselves to pay my school fees.
Okay. That's nice.
So if I say they took upon themselves to pay my school fees, it's just like I pay my school fees myself, because anytime we perform, people come and donate money while we are performing, and I believe some of the performers too, they charge before we go and perform. So for the band, we've been getting money, you know. So they took upon themselves to pay my school fees. But at home, they don't think it's a good thing. They are thinking that, look, I should go and find some work to do. Especially when I finish my Form 4. You know, but when I'm in school, they always pushing for me to stop and concentrate on my education. They want me to concentrate what they can afford, you know, concentrate on what they can afford anyway. But the band helps to pay, you know. And it's amazing that nobody in the family asks, how are you paying the fees? Do you understand? Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I'm just thinking in those days, all they can see is I'm in my school uniform, I've been to school. But they never think that, hey, my friend, who pays the fees? Who do this? Who do that? You know? Till I finish my Form 4. So when I finished my Form 4, I remember the day I wrote my last exams. When I was writing my last exams, the guy who is our manager for the soccer, is waiting for me. And the guy who is our manager for the band is also waiting for me. But the manager for the band came to the exams hall, waiting for me behind the hall.
Okay.
So when I finish, he will grab me. Because we have a game that we have a gig. We have a game that day. That day was a Friday. We have a soccer game. And they are waiting for me at the camp. But the band manager came and grabbed me first. So the soccer people, they didn't see my shadow.
So when did you fully decide to do music and then drop the soccer?
You see, soccer is a very serious game, you know, and while you are growing, you are getting out of the field. Or like when I start as a young man, you get to a point you can't even fit with the young guys again. So you have to get to a little older.
Yeah.
And that means when you are getting older, you are getting toward the older team. So if you can't manage to get to that point because you've divided your attention, you will get to a point you have to stop. Even though they don't allow me, they still pulling. I'm also pulling them. For the band, I feel comfortable there because it take care of my needs somehow. I can get my shoe from there. I can, because I'm being paid small, you know. Why the soccer? Nothing will come on unless you get to a point where you have to be fully paid. you know.
So would you say you chose music over the soccer because of the benefits you were getting?
Yes, because you know, somebody have to take care of me.
Okay.
You know, to survive.
Yeah.
In terms of what you eat, in terms of what to drink, and blah blah blah.
Fees and all that.
Yes, and also the girls too love the band. You know,
Okay.
so the girls too were coming from the side with you know food and stuff like that.
So it's a whole package.
It's a whole package. So the girls aspect
Was also part.
was also part. You know, the girls aspect is so sweet that you have to.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was the girls aspect that
really motivated.
yes,
you to
that
do the
really
music.
motivated me.
Okay, so
You guys are very bad.
okay, so we heard who Tetteh, Leno Tetteh is. Let's go for a quick musical break while we listen to some of his music. We'll be back.
Wakame pio, Brenta. Kaje bobake wo. Wakame pio, Brenta. Wole ame, wole ame, wole ame, wole ame. Wakame pio, Brenta. Jeja me wa. Wakame pio, Brenta. Jeja me wa. Wakame pio, Brenta. Wole ame, wole ame. Wakame pio, Brenta. Wakame pio benta 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 Wakame pio benta.
Welcome back from that quick musical break. If you just tuned in, this is BNA exclusive with me, Jasbie. And today I have in the studios Tettey, Leno, Tetteh, who has told us a lot about himself and how he started music. So we are still on the questioning. Stay tuned. You made mention of some groups you were in with the soccer and the music. How was it dealing with your leaders? Did you have any problems with them?
Oh yeah, any human institution, there's down, up and downs. So, and when I was growing, I can't see myself a good boy. I'm very stubborn. I know for that for sure. For sure, I'm very stubborn, and most of the time I like things to go my way. When I was growing, and it's not like sometimes I'm not thinking well, and I want things to go my way, but sometimes I can see that no, where things are going, that's not how it's supposed to go. So why can't you go like this? But when we were growing, it's very difficult to challenge an adult. Today, look, my children are challenging me. You saw them, you heard them. They said they want wig. When I was growing, how will you go and tell your mom you want to go to a salon to cut your hair? Your mom will bring the scissors to cut your hair for you. And the scissors they're going to bring is not even for hair cutting. It's for clothes cutting. And they will bring it and they will cut your hair the way they want. And you can't complain. When you guys came, you saw I brought shoe for them for school. You see, you heard what they told me. They told me this one, if they take it to school, the children will laugh. How can I tell my dad or my mom who have bought me a shoe like that when I was growing? So we can't really complain. But to be honest, I'm a little stubborn when I was growing. Like, sometimes if I have to put something here, and I feel the thing don't have to be there, I won't do it. And they will push me, I will not do it. That's me when I was growing, So I have problems with some of the leaders who, like the soccer man, the manager of the soccer team, we always have problems. Because of me going to play with the band, he doesn't understand, why I should go, because most of the time, if I don't keep the goals, they will go and lose the match. Yeah. And when they lose the match, he will come in the evening, maybe we finish the soccer things, we finish the band things. Sometimes somebody will tell him where we are performing.
And then he would come there.
And then from the soccer team, he will come there and stand there and start looking at me. But I was thinking that you lie, you love the music. Waiting for me to finish, and then he will, start talking. And sometimes when they have a very tough match, he will manage to, grab me earlier.
Yeah,
before the band, so that I'll go and keep that goals and make sure they win. So the two managers, the band and the soccer, I have huge problems with them. Really huge. Because the band would tell me, what are you going to gain from this soccer team that you are playing? Yeah. And the soccer team would tell me, what are you going to gain from this band? This band is for women. Yeah. You go there and play, you hear all sorts of things. And sometimes they're not really happy with you, especially when the soccer loses the game, or when you don't go and play with the band because you want them. For the band, if I don't go, big trouble. Because there, they support with money small. So sometimes they will say they're going to suspend me from the band. But then there's nobody who play the instrument that I play. And then it becomes a problem. The boys will say no, then they take me back.
Okay, so talking about money and the support, did you ever have any money complications, any money challenges with your leader in the music band?
Oh, of course, lots of challenges. I remember when there's one day when we went and performed somewhere, and we have a lots and lots of donations. So when we were coming, there's the Jamestown police station is closer to where we live. So when we were coming in the car, and I said we should pass through the police station and share the money before we get home. And this became a big issue, because how are we going to pass the police station, tell the police that we get a lot of donations, and the managers will take the money, so they will share it before we get home.
The police will end up taking the money.
You see, so we have those issues, because that time, even though I was a teenager, I'll be around between 16, 17. That way, I can think and I can feel that we've had a lot of money, so they should give us enough so that we can also do something.
And the girls are there, you need to support them.
No, in our case, the girls support us.
Because of the music.
Because they bring all the support. You know, the girls support us, we don't support them.
Okay, so you leaving your first group, did it have to do with any monetary issue, or you decided to leave based on other conditions?
Well, come again.
You leaving the first band,
Mm-hmm.
was it based on money issues?
Oh, no.
You felt you had advanced than...
It got to a point that we are growing. You see, I'm talking about the 70s. Up to today, I'm playing. How many years now? Lots of years. So you get to a point, then you know that even your instrument, you get to a point, I know that my instrument, I don't even know how to play it at all. I need to go and learn how to play my instrument again. You get to that point. You get to that point that I get this group from Germany that want to take me to Germany, but they are a jazz group, and what they do is they really want somebody who can read music, you know. So they don't practice where they come together, but they will send you the script, and you just have to read and know what you have to play. So when they get together, you know what you are doing. So they wanting a player like that. And somebody introduced me to them. I play my flute. They say, yeah, you are a very good player, but can you read music? And I said, no. And they say, oh, unfortunately, it's too bad. We need somebody who can read music. So right there, I felt that I'm useless. Do you understand? I felt I'm very useless. I felt then I don't know my instrument at all.
You aren't doing enough.
And I met a guy who is playing the same music, the same instrument, and he's playing stuff that I don't know I can even do on the flute. And I was shocked a little bit. So that pushed me to go out there and learn and look for those points. You know, so luckily I met in the late 80s, I met the Nana Danso Abiam, who is also a very good composer and a very good musician. And he knows that Tetteh very well. So that is where I really learned the whole thing again and know what's wrong and know how to play the chromatic scale on my Tetteh, because it's a traditional instrument, and a lot of the traditional instruments have problems when it comes to keys, you know, including our xylophone. You know, even today that Tetteh, we are trying to put it on a standard key, which is very difficult. I remember Nana Danso Abiam took that Tetteh to China just to put it, just to see if they can manufacture it again and put it on a standard key. so that it can be played internationally. You understand? But it's very difficult, you know. As I'm talking to you today, that instrument, there's only one person in Ghana who that can actually manufacture it and come closer to the a standard, closer to a standard tuning. And I'm even worried, because if we lose that man, we'll be in a very big problem, because that man is the only person who can do it well. So as I'm sitting here, I'm planning to see, there are some guys in town who are making it, but they are not close at all. So what I'm thinking is we need to have workshops, so all the makers will see this man and do it well.
Yeah.
Because if we lost that man, I don't know how. That's it. That is it.
Okay.
For the flute.
It's actually a good idea.
So we have to find grant and go and put all the makers together and those who really want to learn, so that we can teach them very well. Well, it's a very nice instrument. But then I play different types of instruments as well. See, as I'm saying, when I'm growing, then I'm trying my hands on different types of instrument, you know, including the drums and blah blah blah. Because when I went to London in 1996, the only instrument that I play is that Tetteh flute. I play the drums, but not really too much, you know. But then when I went there, I saw that the what people need is drumming. People really love drumming, and I have the idea. I've seen people playing. I know what to do with the drums. I have 4 serious drummers with me, but unfortunately they can't teach. And when it comes to teaching, I think by nature I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher by nature. So I took it upon me that no, then I have to go out there and teach the drumming. Because sometimes I sat there with them, and while they drumming, then I'm explaining. But then it doesn't cut across very well. So I said, no, why don't I put my hand and make sure? So while I'm in London, I'm teaching myself how to play the drums very well while I'm teaching the students. So every time I'm teaching, I'm learning at the same time. You know, so that's how I took serious drumming too, so I can teach, you know, because when it comes to music, there's so many things in music. You see somebody who can play the drums and play very well. He's a performer. Then we have somebody who can really teach, but he can't play the drum very well. So he's a teacher. You know, we have some people too, even though they can play the drum, their head is full of like solo. So they will be very good in solo. If you give them a chance to play simple rhythm, then it becomes a problem. They can't keep a rhythm for a minute without playing what is running through their heads. You understand? So music is very deep than we can think of. So why I'm still in the music scene, because you still have something to do when it comes to music. And the older you get, the more experience you become, you know. So that's why I've done it all my life, you know. And there are difficulties here, difficulties there, but it's just like any type of work, you know. You find difficulties, you know. But if that's what you want to do, you keep going, you understand?
So, all these experiences you gathered, all the learning of the instruments and everything, after, did you form your own group?
Oh yeah. I've been through groups. I formed a group called Kakachi Chichi. No, the buying sounds that I start with got dissolved somewhere in early mid 80s. It got dissolved, and I joined the Pan African Orchestra, where we bring lots of African instruments together to play like a symphony orchestra. You know, a symphony orchestra will have white instruments like the cellos, the violins, the double bass, the timpanis, you name them. So when I met Ranso Abiam, he was the director of the National Symphonic Orchestra in Ghana. But then he's thinking that, no, Ghana, we have so much instruments, including around Africa. We have so many instruments, but we've never put together an orchestra that have only African instruments. So he was thinking that, no, we should have an orchestra that will have only African instruments. So we put together the Pan-African Orchestra. But as the team started in Ghana, all we can do is to work with the instruments from Ghana, because even working with the instruments from Ghana is about money. The money involved is not a joke, it's huge. Because putting the people together, we have to go to the north and bring some of the people, Kumasi, here, there. And when you bring them to Accra, you need to feed them, you need to house them, and it's all money. It's a very difficult and serious project that he did, and he put a lot of money in it. Here you are, you bring some of the players that haven't been to school before, but you have to teach them how to read music, because we are talking about orchestra. Orchestration music, you know, is serious. So some of the music is a traditional music that he have to recompose. So you have to write them down. So here you are, you've been trained, you know, as a Western music writer, and then you have written the music from African patterns and giving it back to Africans who cannot read music to play. It's a very huge task. So this guy was so good that he forget about everything. Let's go and learn how to read Western music, so that when I write my music, when I took the music, recompose it, you guys can play. So they taught us how to read music for a long time. And things start getting better, because I've lost that opportunity to learn how to read music by not knowing how to read music. So when we were told that they're going to teach us how to read music, I was the first person who is very interested in it. So to be honest, a lot of us were in the class, but I stood tall among all of them. And I have to teach the xylophone player with my flute, because I can read what is written for them. And sometimes it's very difficult. The xylophone player is speaking a language that I don't speak. You know, Ghana, there's over 52 languages spoken here, which, if you don't belong to that tribe, you don't understand. You don't even have a clue.
Some of us do not even know that this is a language.
Yes, and those of us from the northern region coming to the south, we are from the south, we don't understand each other at all. So here am I with a xylophone player who is coming from the north, who doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak one of the common languages that he can get closer to what we can work together. The only thing that we can hear is the music. The only common thing that brings us together is our music. So I have to use my flute to tell the xylophone player that look, your left is playing this. And amazingly, It's a xylophone music that the director has collected from him, rewrite it for him, but he doesn't understand. Unless he learned, then he will know, oh, I see, so this is what he wants me to do. This is the same thing. You understand? Then when he understands, it's amazing.
Okay. And it wasn't easy at all.
Not at all. And then we have one gonje player too, who is from the north. The gonje is a one-string violin.
Okay.
And they have to write for him as well, you know. It's difficult. And the dono players, everything is being written, you know. So it was a very huge task. In my life, I spent 6 years with the Pan-African Orchestra from 1988 to some mid-90s. And that 6 years that I spent with the orchestra, I think I learned so much. I improved in terms of thinking about the music, and I saw a lot how our traditional music is going down the drain. And so after finishing working with the Pan-African Orchestra, I did a lot of research on our traditional music and dance. And I can see how the music is suffering, the dance is suffering, the instruments are suffering. So I pick it upon myself and put some groups together. So like I'm saying, after buying, I brought the buying together myself, and we did some recording. Some of the songs that I wrote, we did a lot of recording. Some of the songs are still in the public domain right now that they play. Especially when it comes to our Omowo Festival, you hear some of those songs.
So, have you really achieved everything that you wanted to achieve in the music industry?
I don't think when I have another 100 years to live my life, I can achieve it.
Okay.
I don't think so. If I have another 100 years of my life, I cannot achieve it. Because, you see, we are living in a tradition when it comes to African music, which is a oral tradition. So somebody have to tell somebody something, somebody to have to pass it on. And sometimes when it gets along the line, then something will be fainted, you know, because some people don't want to share what they have. And that is where it's difficult. So you meet some of the people who have they are brilliant players when it comes to African instrument and they know they may come from a very serious background of players that they can tell you what their grandfather, when they come and met their grandfathers, what they told them about the instrument, blah, blah. But they don't want to share. And maybe the grandfather is gone, the father is gone, he's the only person. So it's very difficult when it comes to, that's why I'm saying when I'm giving 100 years, another 100 years, I can't achieve when it comes to African instruments. But I believe we are trying to achieve something today, you know. What we can, we are gathering it. But then I look at some of my sons who are now playing. What are they going to achieve? Because even us, it's very difficult for us. So if we don't write it down to preserve some of the things that we have achieved, it will be very difficult. So I'm looking to the camera to tell people out there that if you are from Ghana and you are a traditional musician professionally, we have a job to do. So let's come together and put it together. Our traditional music is down the drain, and it looks like the water the erosion that is pushing it out of the system is too huge. And one person cannot be swimming, or two, even 20 people cannot be in the erosion to gather the bits and pieces. So we really have to come together and get a bunch of people to try and rescue these instruments and the history behind it and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so we are at the end of the show, and this is my very last question. I want to know if you had
You spoke about the groups that I've been, and I spoke about the buying sounds. Then from there, I put together a group called Kakachichi.
Yeah.
We end up in the UK,
Okay.
and that is where I left Kakachichi.
Kakachichi, okay.
Kakachichi means taking with force.
Okay.
In the mid-90s, I get to a point and I'm like, no, we have to get out there and do our own thing, because that time we've grown a lot in the traditional music and dance. So we put together the group called Kakachichi.
Okay.
And we went to a tour from Ghana, Benin, Togo, Benin, Nigeria. We get back to Ghana, do our recordings. Right after we launched the recording, we end up in the UK.
Okay.
And that is where I left the group.
Okay.
Because again, there is a white man in the picture who thought he can use us. And for me, I can see it. And I'm telling my people, look, we have to be very clever than that, because they should remember when we took off from Ghana, hustling from here all the way to Nigeria. We've been through a lot. Then we end up in the UK. So we should do it well, because if money is coming and one person is thinking that, yeah, there is money, so now you are my boys, it doesn't sound like that.
Okay.
So I'm telling them, but because I'm not a white person, they don't want to hear. So I left it for them and the white man, and I went and do Kusun Ensemble, which I have till today.
Oh, okay.
But apart from this, I've trained a lot of bands that I can't even mention names. I train them. I go in there and say, look, we have to put a repertoire like this, do this. The music here sounds nice, let's put it like that. No, I've done a lot.
Okay, so our last question is, if you had a chance to change anything in the music industry, what would it be? Would you change anything in the past, or would you change anything now?
Look, when you talk about the past and the now, if there's no past, there will be no now. Yes, so the past we have to look at. In the past, our first president, Dr. Nkrumah, put together the Ghana Dance Ensemble at Legon. Why did he put Ghana Dance Ensemble at Legon? He knows that, I think he put together some serious players so that they can help in the University of Ghana. Thinking the professors in the University of Ghana will also learn from those guys, because there are guys who know the thing by nature. You understand? So he brought them together so that the professors can tap from them and then spread it around to new students who are coming, so they will master from that and take it down. So our traditional music today is being taught in the University of Ghana, but if you go down to the basic school, it's not there. And it's weird, you know, if you don't do science from kindergarten all the way to high school, how will you go and learn? How will you go and do a doctor in the tertiary? You can't do it. And that's exactly what is happening when it comes to our traditional music and dance. So I'm thinking that we should change our style. You know, there are people like us who is around who have not been to school before. You understand? But we've taught professors from all over the world. We've taught in universities all over the world. So we can help. So my hopes are we will send our traditional music and dance into the basic education schools around Ghana, and try and send some of the dance, some of the instrument music that we know, so we can teach the kids. And somebody will ask, So what would the children base on to learn? Because there should be textbooks and stuff like that. Yes, people like us have a lot of things in our head. As I'm talking to you, for the past 3 years, I'm writing more than 3 years, about 4 or 5 years. I'm writing books on Palugo, the drum, the music, the dance, everything. It's been difficult because the funding is not there. Look at me, and now I have grandchildren. If I wake up, I need to think about how the house is going to survive. And sometimes it's crazy because I remember when I was going to Australia the first time. The first time that I went to Australia was the Australian government gave a grant to University of Melbourne, and they took me to Australia just to go and teach some of our traditional things in their school with a grant. I went to the UK, I got a grant to go into all the basic schools to teach them our traditional music. But here in Ghana, I've never get the grant to do anything. So it's really difficult. You have to do it by yourself. You have to push it and push it harder. So right now we are pushing it and pushing it harder that the government will see it, send it into the curriculum. If I'm dead today and I can see that our traditional music is in the basic school, in the curriculum, that they are teaching all the children, how my soul will go and rest. Because if you go to the UK, every sort of music that you can think of is in the basic school. It's in the high schools. So the children go through, and when they want to be a musician and they are in the universities, you see, yes, they are seriously musicians.
Okay.
They know their left from right when it comes to music.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nee. It was really wonderful having you on BNA exclusive. Okay, Nee, so can you give us a platform where anybody that wants to listen to your music can listen to it on, or anybody who wants to reach out to you, if it's a phone number or a social media handle?
For music, you can find some on Spotify, or I don't know how they call it, or the other one,
Audio Mac?
No, something tunes, iTunes.
iTunes, okay.
And then, if you want to reach me direct, it's Tettey Leno at hotmail.com.
Okay.
Tettey Leno at hotmail. Then we can talk in case you are interested in what I'm writing. You can get direct to me, and we can team together and see if we can bring out a nice book out. Also, you can go to YouTube. If you type my name, Tettey Leno, or Tetteh, Tetteh, and the Kusu Ensemble, you find a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can see. I'm very easy to find, even though I'm very difficult to find.
Okay, it has been a wonderful experience with me, Tettey Leno Tetteh, on BNA exclusive. Let's go for a quick musical break, and when we come back, we have more fun.
We gonna find champion. See boy money na boy, see boy money na boy. See boy money na boy, see boy money na boy. Money na boy bro kushawa. Ale deke na boy. Ale na deke na boy. Kona kwa wati na wati na koma kwa ya sabe go. Sabe go, koma kwa ya sabe go. Sabe go eba koma kwa ya sabe go. Sabe go, koma kwa ya sabe go. Kona kwa wati na koma kwa ya sabe go. Hey.
Welcome back from that quick musical break, and the song you just listened to is from me, Tetteh, Leno Tetteh. It was such a beautiful song. Indeed, they say, what is life without music? I mean, life without music would be a mistake. If you are just tuning in, this is BNA exclusive on BNA TV. My name is Jasbie, and this brings us to the end of today's episode of BNA exclusive. Stay tuned for more fun. You know BNA exclusive has always got interesting topics and interesting guests for you. See you same time next week. Bye.